top of the morning to you. It has been a while since we have talked. It appears that as the sheeple slept, I have lost my snooty extra-normal English accent and become a typical American ignoramus. Such is life.
How sad. Otherwise, how have you been?
Quite well, actually.
Well, I have been quite concerned since we last spoke due to the fact that there are many rumors floating about lately concerning the confiscation of silver.
Confiscation of silver? You cannot be serious. That's the funniest thing I've heard since they told us there's a silver bubble.
Why do you say that?
Do you know what the current value of all the silver mined in the world in 1 year is?
No.
$21 billion.
$21 billion? An entire year's worth of silver is only worth $21 billion?
That is correct.
But $21 billion amounts to nothing more than a rounding error when compared to this year's budget deficit of $1.6 trillion.
You are correct. In fact, $21 billion is only 1.3% of this year's deficit.
And that is an entire year of silver mining?
Yes. In fact, it is the entire 700 million ounces of silver that is produced yearly by every silver mine in the entire world.
So that means that an entire 10 years of silver production, at today's prices, would only amount to about $200 billion?
Correct.
And $200 billion is still just 1/8 of the 2011 budget deficit.
Correct.
So if it were possible for them to confiscate 100% of all silver mined in the entire world for 10 years, the amount of money they would get is $200 billion?
Correct.
Then the only way it could make sense for them to confiscate silver is if the value of silver is high enough to make some kind of dent in the debts they are creating?
Yes. For example, of the 1 to 200 million ounces of silver that goes to investors every year, 500 million ounces is consumed and destroyed by industry.
Okay. So currently the silver bugs are socking away 200 million ounces per year?
Correct.
And those 200 million ounces at current prices are only worth $6 billion?
Correct.
So if for argument's sake, we say that the amount of silver mined per year were valued at the same dollar amount they are digging the budget hole at, what would silver need to be priced at?
For the amount of investment silver socked away by the silver bugs per year to equal the dollar amount of debt the U.S. government creates per year, the price of silver would need to be 250 times its current price, or $7,500 per ounce.
And if silver were worth $7,500 per ounce, an entire year's worth of investment silver would be worth $1.5 trillion?
Correct.
And $1.5 trillion is merely the amount of debt the U.S. is adding every fiscal year?
Correct.
So for silver to even become worth being confiscated, it needs to be selling for a minimum of $7,500 per ounce?
Correct.
So what do you advise me to do with silver selling at $35 per ounce?
Take every penny you can lay your hands on and buy physical silver, because they won't even start looking at it until it crosses $5,000 an ounce.
And when it does, what should I do?
Tell them here is the silver you want, sirs, at the bargain price of $4,999, and I'll see you in Bimini.
Cheers.
Cheers.